Hi everyone! Our group will be discussing to you about the elderly mental health disability between 75 years old to 90 years old in Scarborough. My group members are Christopher Tura, Christina Hugiat, Princess Anne Hermano, Kathleen Antonio, and yours truly, Jean Marie Del Campo.
Our group selected elderly mental health disability between 75 to 90 years old in Scarborough because physical health problems, social isolation, and financial stability are just a few of the many obstacles that elderly people frequently experience. These difficulties can worsen mental health concern, and our goal is to promote evidence-based planning for efficient treatments and support services catered to the elderly group, those aged 70 to 90, to concentrate on their mental health needs. According to the Canadian Mental Health Association and Mental Health Commission in Canada, the statistics show that mental health issues among older adults are a significant concern. In Ontario, including areas like Scarborough, it is estimated that between 17% to 30% of adults over 65 experience mental health problems. And common conditions include depression and anxiety, with around 14% of adults aged 60 and over living with a mental disorder. Additionally, social isolation affects about 12% of those 65 and older. To meet your needs for the future development of the community development, we are going to use the following methods: need assessment, windshield survey, and asset-based community development, or ABCD. Under need assessment, we will do surveys and questionnaires, and we will distribute surveys to gather data on the specific needs, challenges, and preferences of the elderly population. This can include questions about mental health, accessibility, and social support, while interviews and focus group needs to conduct interviews and focus group with elderly residents, caregivers, and healthcare providers to gain deeper insights into their experience and needs. Under the windshield survey, there is a community observation, and we will perform this to observe the physical environment, availability of services, and general living condition in Scarborough. This helps identify gaps in services and infrastructure. And lastly, we will do asset-based community development, wherein mapping community assets will be identified and map existing community resources such as healthcare facilities, senior centers, and support groups.
Choose this study because of the following reason. First, the demographic trends. The aging population of Scarborough elderly population grows. It's essential to address their mental health needs. Second, prevalence of mental health issues. Addressing mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and dementia in the elderly can greatly enhance their overall well-being. Third is the service gap. Identifying and addressing gaps in mental health services of Scarborough elderly can improve accessibility and care. Fourth is the social isolation. Community initiative can help elderly individuals combat social isolation and improve their mental health by fostering connection and support network. And lastly, the economic factors. Early intervention and community support can lower long-term healthcare costs and improve outcomes for individuals with mental health conditions. We identified that the community has strengths, challenges, and capacity building. According to Mental Health Services Scarborough Center for Healthy Communities 2023, the strength of our case study are the following. First, they have existing healthcare infrastructure, wherein the new SHN Community Mental Health Center provides integrated outpatient mental health services, making it easier for elderly residents to access care. There is also community engagement, wherein groups like the Scarborough Center for Healthy Communities, or the SCHC, focus on improving mental health and well-being among and the diverse population in Scarborough allows for culturally sensitive mental health services, which can be more effective for elderly residents from various backgrounds. For the challenges, it would be the service accessibility. Limited transportation, lack of awareness, and persistent stigma can prevent elderly individuals with mobility issues from accessing mental health services. Limited funding and staff shortages can reduce the availability and quality of mental health services, leading to longer wait times and social isolation as many elderly individuals experience social isolation, which can exacerbate mental health issues. For the capacity building strategies, first, community partnership. Collaborate with local organizations and private partners to improve service access, cultural competence, and secure funding for mental health programs. Second is the training and education. Offer training programs for caregivers and conduct community workshops to support elderly mental health and reduce stigma.
Community has also gatekeepers and stakeholders. For the gatekeepers are the healthcare providers, likely primary care physicians, which is often the first point of contact for elderly patients, and the mental health specialists like psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors who provide specialized care. For community leaders like the local politicians, wherein city council members and the other local government officials who can influence policy and funding, while the religious leaders are also very influential figures in local religious communities who can help reach and support elderly individuals. The stakeholders are the people who can open door or the elderly residents and their families directly affected by mental health issues and the primary beneficiaries of any programs or interventions, and the healthcare institutions like Scarborough Health Network, the key provider of healthcare services in the area. We will communicate with these people about the issue by conducting a regular meetings and forums. Stakeholders should regularly schedule meetings with key stakeholders to discuss issues, progress, and strategies, and by having a community forums to gather input and feedback from the community, and by using digital communication, e-newsletters, regular updates on initiatives, progress, and upcoming events. For social media, use platforms like Facebook and Twitter to engage with the community and share informations. Just like any study, we have our strengths and limitation of chosen approaches. Each strength is we use comprehensive data like surveys, interviews, and focus groups, provide both quantitative and qualitative data. Additionally, having a community forum like public participation encourages community involvement and ensures that the voices of elderly residents are heard. The limitation of our study is in terms of needs assessment, requires significant time and effort to design, distribute, and analyze surveys, and conduct interviews and responses bias wherein participants may not always provide accurate or honest responses.
We also identified some gaps in our identified strategies like in-depth personal experiences. While surveys and interviews provide valuable data, they may not capture the full depth of personal experiences and challenges faced by elderly residents and specific cultural needs. This approach may not fully address the specific cultural needs and preferences of diverse populations in Scarborough, but it also identified some alternative strategies to combat these gaps. Our group will do home visit to personalized assessment. This allows for more in-depth understanding of individual needs and living conditions and allows trust building that can build stronger relationships and trust between assessors and elderly residents. Second, participatory action research or PAR. Collaborative approach will be implemented to involve community members as co-researchers, ensuring their active participation and ownership of the process, and empowers elderly residents by involving them directly in identifying and addressing their own needs. And lastly, technology-based assessment, like telehealth and online surveys, which utilize technology to reach homebound or tech-savvy elderly residents at data analytics. Use advanced data analytics to identify patterns and trends in mental health needs. For the advocacy considerations, our study will raise awareness, public campaigns using media and community events to raise awareness about elderly mental health issues, and will provide education. It will provide information to the public, caregivers, and healthcare providers about the importance of mental health in elderly. Second, policy advocacy. Government engagement advocate for policies that support mental health services for the elderly, such as increase funding and improve access to care. Legislation. Work towards laws that protect the rights of elderly individuals with mental health disabilities. And lastly, community mobilization. It will build coalitions from alliances with other organizations and stakeholders to strengthen advocacy efforts and grassroots movement as it encourages community members to share or participate in advocacy activities and share their stories. For the ethical considerations in providing mental health services to elderly individuals emphasize the importance of confidentiality, ensuring that personal information is protected and informed consent is obtained before assessments or intervention. Services should be respectful of cultural backgrounds, promote autonomy, and involve elderly individuals in decision making about their care plans. It is also crucial to ensure fair access to services regardless of socioeconomic status and provide care without discrimination based on gender, age, ethnicity, or disability. Transparency is key, with open communication about goals, processes, and outcomes, while also holding all parties accountable for their roles in the advocacy and intervention processes.
Through our work with elderly individuals in Scarborough, we learned that mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and dementia are prevalent among those aged 70 to 90 years old, significantly affecting their quality of life and requiring target interventions. Many of these residents also face social isolation, which worsens mental health challenges, highlighting the need for community programs that promote social connections. Additionally, there are notable gaps in mental health services specifically tailored for the elderly, including limited access to specialized care. Given the area's diverse population, it is crucial to offer culturally sensitive mental health services that respect and address the unique needs of different cultural groups. Community nursing takes a holistic approach to care, addressing not only physical health but also mental, social, and environmental factors that influence well-being. Accurate data collection through surveys, interviews, and observations is crucial for understanding community needs and planning effective interventions. Engaging with stakeholders, including healthcare providers, community leaders, and residents, is essential for identifying needs and implementing solutions. Ethical principles like confidentiality, respect, and equity are fundamental in community nursing, ensuring trust and effective care delivery. Collaboration and teamwork are essential in community nursing, as diverse perspectives or skills lead to a more thorough and effective assessment. Effective communication is key to coordinating efforts, sharing information, and making informed decisions, with regular meetings and clear channels being vital. Adaptability is also crucial, as flexibility and adjusting plans based on new information or feedback ensures success. Additionally, utilizing available resources such as local health networks and community organizations enhances the effectiveness of assessments and interventions. And this is our references.